And we are, how you doing? Live. We are live at InfoComm 2024.
Is it 24?
It is 24.
I've lost track.
It feels like a year has gone by in the last week
It
since
has.
we arrived. This is our best of InfoComm show. So I guess we'll start. What was the best of InfoComm?
The HETMA booth. And anybody that says otherwise is lying.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. All right. Anything besides the InfoComm booth?
I would say product-wise, I know I've talked about it in the past, but I think auto tracking cameras might actually be getting there. That might actually be something to take a look at one of these, in the near future.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Erin, to you, what was your best? We're going to get to the HETMA booth. I'm trying to get away from that.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And then we're going to talk about maybe, one of the other 990 booths here that actually has gear, right? And so what would your best be?
Yeah, no, I mean, besides the amazing higher education summit that
that was the best of.
I may be a little biased, but I'm liking that I'm seeing a lot of immersive technologies going on between video, and audio. So it's exciting to see.
Well, speaking of which, like Igloo showing up at a number of different booths. Usually they had their little thing, and now being placed in, winning an award 2 years in a row, and doing that. So absolutely. By the way, beautiful headdress.
Why, thank you.
Fantastic headdress. Yes.
I love the fact that the lighting from the booth next to us is shooting it over onto the wall
totally
over
My
there.
shadow is epic. My shadow is epic.
Yes. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, I thought, never mind. Yeah, I know. So, of technology-wise, it's been an interesting one this year because really the only booths I've seen were the ones on the booth tours that we went around to, and they were pre-planned, so I already knew what they were going to talk about. But the cool part for me is there's so many people from my team here. It was their job to go see the new things and find it, and then and debrief me when we get home. But they haven't been able to wait that long. I've been getting texts every day. You got to go see this. You go see the transparent LED, see the immersive things. I think we can figure out how to do a 3-wall immersive thing down to have you seen this other cool microphone company that we've never heard of before? I think they make something that would work on our current classroom design. So I think one of the coolest things for me is the way so many people who it's their first InfoComm are coming away just like, how have I never done this before? How have I never been here? How have I ever figured out what I needed until I came to where everything was in the same place at the same time?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's interesting. And I want to stick with you for a minute because you said you didn't want a mic, so you didn't have to talk. So you get 2.
Thank you.
No,
that was a lie.
Actually,
I always want to talk.
That we know.
Yeah.
But actually, you make a good point. We do 3 tours, 2 official and 1 unofficial.
Yes.
The unofficial, the AV Super Friends. You do the 2 official Avixa tours for HETMA. But what was the takeaway? Because that you cover different types of manufacturers.
Yes.
So what was the trend you saw throughout?
Yeah. So the trend, I would put it this way: everyone has got something they think is great for classrooms. The trend is the companies who are just taking something they're building for corporate and telling people it's great for higher ed, and then the ones who are actually designing things for higher ed. So on the tour, it's actually one of the things when we pick spots and we hit 9 booths as stops and another 9 booths as ones we talked about as we walked by, a mix of big ones and small ones, so that most of the people on the tours, it's their first time at InfoComm too. So let me give you a lay of the land. But it's always troublesome to call out one particular one over another. But because I'm holding a Shure microphone, I'll talk about that. But they have their next 2 product is priced all in one, easy to set up. It has this sort of thing that for people trying to say, I want to go all Dante in my classrooms, you can get this one thing. It is priced well for education, and you could see people go, I had never seen that, and that solves a problem I have right when I get home.
Yeah, no, I love that. That is a great takeaway. And I think that we've noticed that with the people now. Well, now let's transition to what's important, the booth. But with people coming by and people saying, hey, we want to be next to you. We see your people here. We could feel an intentionality about wanting to actually serve higher education and higher education professionals.
100%. I mean, it's been amazing to watch how, as opposed to, I think I said like 5-6 years ago, education folks would have to hunt for vendors to talk to, would have to actually fight their way into the booth to get someone to talk to them. Now those same vendors are coming to us for conversations to find out what our folks need, how they need to use it, what's going to work best for them. And it's been amazing to see.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm going to say my best takeaway, and now that we're on the booth, because I actually haven't seen any of the technology because we've been here. The number one best of InfoComm is Ann and Carl Kelly.
Yes, 100%.
There would be no booth essentially without them. Episode superheroes. Thank you so much. Team Buffalo.
We learned a little bit about Las Vegas unions this week, did we not?
They're as you like to say, they're very intentional. They they have very strict rules, and they are very very dedicated to those rules. So yes.
I would say here.
Go ahead.
What I would say too is, like, you know, HETMA and ARC, and we got a little reputation of fly by the seat of our pants and figure it out as we go, and that's never, like, that's because we're trying to like run an exhibition company when we all actually have a whole different job. You know what I'm saying? We do this as a volunteer thing, but like Anne is one of the, she does not fly by the seat of her pants on anything. Organized, has the thing. So when they're like, well, we need to see the engineering prints. Check. Got it. We need an electrical plant. Check. Got it. What else do you need? You know what I'm saying? And so the cool part about this week, that it's a good example, is we have like the education summit that Chris and the education committee put together, and Anne handling this thing, right? And the PRISM program happening at the same time. And so all of a sudden, instead of HETMA doing one thing at a time, we have many things going because so many people have picked up and taken accountability and responsibility for different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, go ahead.
And I think that while we are on the topic of how amazing Anne is, we do have to mention that the amazing capes that we are wearing were designed and sewn and bejeweled by Anne. And amazing undertaking that she took on.
100%. Now, I want to go back to what you said was the best, the Education Summit. So cover your takeaways.
Yeah, it was such a great experience to see all of these higher ed professionals from all over the place come together and collaborate and find out that they're not alone, that there are other people out there who are experiencing the same kind of pain points they are, that are going through the same things, and sharing then how they're navigating that. And so we definitely learned some things about how the format works, and but it's all great. Like, it's good feedback that we're going to take away from it, and it's only going to serve to make it better next year.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think the thing that kind of was the most gratifying for it was getting ready to start. Simeon was getting ready to start his excellent keynote. And you just look out across, and we had a packed ballroom for the first time out of doing something like this. So
on a Monday,
2
days before the show floor opened.
On a Monday, people have flew in early to be able to attend it. So it just speaks to how powerful our vertical is, and just it's the bedrock for it is perfect, and it's just going to get better from here.
Yeah, and I'll say one of my other takeaways, and my best of InfoComms, was being able to give this man a Hall of Fame award. And everything that has happened. And then my worst thing was almost crying off of getting the incredible honor. And that's what really, I look at this InfoComm. I think my biggest takeaway is, yes, and I keep joking all week about I'm stepping away. No, I'm just, stepping down on a way. But it's at the point where it's a thing and it's ready for new leadership. It's ready for it to go, okay, we've had this idea that's no longer an idea. It's a thing. It's an organic growing. Look at, the people have come by, the number of institutions that have gained, the number of manufacturers who are coming up. I had one manufacturer say they literally had someone come by their booth and they told that person, they can help you better than I can. And I know I'm going to lose money because they may send you to a different integrator or to whatever, but that's okay. Hopefully they take care of you and we can talk again. Who does that, right? You know, and that's really, to me, what was kind of cool. And seeing this is I think it's a really pivotal moment in higher education. And yes, we did the booth last year, right? But it was, if we would have failed miserably last year, everyone would have just thought, okay, well, they had fun. It's what they do. They're not exhibitionists. Well,
Exhibitors.
We're in Vegas. We can be exhibitionists. But now, double decker, and we have more respect from everyone around here. And so, yeah, our happy hours were kicking. Talk about all of you all. I mean, I've kind of been up and around. What's the feeling you're getting as people stop by the booth, whether just for information or the happy hours? I'll throw that out to the group.
No, it feels like, I know it sounds strange, but the happy hours for me have been like validating moments almost, in that we all knew kind of how special this is, but though the happy hours really kind of demonstrated to, I think, everybody like how special this is. And it's really been fantastic to be part of, because everyone's like, even if they had no idea what exactly HETMA was, they were just like, they could see it and they're like, they want to be part of it.
Yeah, I think that hits it perfectly. It's, you know, most booth happy hours, somebody will come by for a beverage, look at whatever pretty display is up there, and then mosey on around.
Yeah.
People come here and they stay for 2-3 hours, however long we have to extend it, because nobody's ready to leave. Right. So that was, and just the waves of people that kept showing up. And it wasn't just people coming by for a beverage. They wanted to come by and have conversations. And it was from every single vertical that was here. It was educations, it was manufacturers, it was consultants, it was people just wanted to come and be a part of it. And that was fantastic.
I think one of the reasons for that is, like you said, most other happy hours, I mean, let's be honest, people exchanging beers for badge cans, right? That's what you're doing. We also are doing that, but we're not trying to sell you anything. I can't take your money, right? I don't have any, you know what I'm saying?
Correction, all potential sponsors will take your money.
Oh yes, we'll take their money. And we have, and we will. But it's because of those sponsors that we can do this.
Yes.
And that was always how I closed the tour. And you're trying to give that elevator speech of HETMA. Everyone has these big displays here and this thing because they want to attract your attention so that you'll buy something, a product or a service. And we're here giving it. So why people stay and stuck around, because we're not here to get something from them. We're just here to give something to them. And the other thing I noticed this year about our happy hours, last year, it was like, wait, what is this HETMA? Like, they saw us on the first day and then they came back the second day and the third day because they heard it for the first time. This year, those people brought other people. Yep. There was a whole generation of like, no, this was this booth I was at last year. You got to come to it. You got to come to it. And all of a sudden there's a whole other group of people saying you have to go there because of who the people are and the experience you'll have, not because, you know, they've got a good deal on X, Y, or Z. Though we do have a very good deal, free and always will be. You know what I'm saying?
Free and always will be. Did you want to add? You looked like you were about to add something.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, that was all right.
Now I have to come up with a new question.
I'll help you stall. So during the happy hours, the one thing that was really cool was like, it wasn't people that were during the happy hours. They were here, you know, they were talking about things other than AV. They were making like friendship connections. It wasn't just, hey, did you see this XYZ widget? It does this. It was more like, hey, how's your show? How are things going? What's going on your campus? It was conversations like that are just, I don't know, to me, the most fulfilling there are.
It's because our product is our people.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like that. We're gonna yes, our product is our people. Wow. You should be in leadership. That was good. If we titled if I titled episodes that would be the title, but I don't title episodes. Okay, well, we can't talk about a show. Obviously, we talked about the show floor. The afterlife. The afterlife.
We're rapidly approaching the afterlife, Joe.
We're
We're almost there at this point.
Exhibitionists and our afterlife.
We're exhibitionists and we're dying now. So okay.
So my little thought. So I want. We have obviously there's always the Peerless Party. There's the Shore Party. There's the everything. I loved, even though I kind of bailed out a little bit early, I was very happy to get 7 hours of sleep, which surprises everybody, I know. Seeing our people hanging out at the pool last night was pretty cool. At the CTI, hitting there a couple times. Talk about the after parties and any of the what your favorite moments.
I mean, there were so many, but you know what? I feel like this year, more than in years past, it hasn't been the actual party itself. It's been the people that have been around. And
you mean like 2:30 a.m. tacos El Gordo with Simeon?
Yeah,
fantastic tacos. Highly recommend.
Nothing like taking your keynote speaker on a late night taco venture. But it's been really exciting just to see everybody on our community be like, okay, yeah, the show floor's done, but now what are we doing next? Yeah. Like, where's everybody meeting up? Who's going where? What are we doing? And that, I feel like that's been my favorite part of the after.
The favorite part of the afternoon. My favorite part's been watching the Yavapai crew travel in a pack. Like, it's like you all just basically took over Vegas this week.
Oh yeah, no, and also getting to see Nick come out of his shell, and I was just like, who is that? He's very like subdued, like introverted type guy, but Wednesday.
I know.
Here's Anton.
Yes, he was. Right? He was. But that's one of the things I was going to mention is like the afterlife, which is now what we're calling it. I love that because there are two things on it. Is one, a lot of the parties, the thing about them, like they can be fun, they can be this, and a lot of them is like people feel the need to go there. It's part of the whatever, but it gives people who work in higher ed a chance to step completely out of their normal life. And that video and the thing I have of Nick from my team, we're at the nightclub, and he's the big light ball is moving and he's just got his hands in the air. He's having just like an existential out of body experience, right? He was just like, that was awesome. The endorphins are flowing because that's the experience he needed. But the other cool thing has been there's not one place to go or one place to be, because now the messages and the things on the app is, hey, where are you going? Who's going to dinner? And you notice that, like, if you want a quiet dinner, there are people going to do that. If you want to chill at the pool, there are people going to do that. And it's not everyone has to do the same thing. There's enough community that you can have your own afterlife. You can go into the afterlife with the people who want the same heaven as you after the end of the day.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, but before it was either like there was a place to go or you didn't have an invite, so you were on your own. And I feel like no one was on their own, or if they were on their own, it's only because they wanted to be on their own, not because they didn't have a choice.
But we have to do a technical timeout because we want to talk about how special the booth is when the CEO of QSC just happens to come upstairs to grab a coffee.
Yeah.
Who happened to also be a VIX's keynote speaker.
Yeah.
And just walked up right here in the middle of our recording. This is the little cameo by Joe Pham here.
This is the place to be. You know what I'm saying?
That tells you about this booth, right? Yes. Exactly. Everyone in the industry has said, oh, this is home base. This is where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had friends and partners come up here and like have meetings, and it's been unexpectedly refreshing to come up here for 5 minutes, get away from the noise while the party continues downstairs. But yeah, I mean, we always talked about the HETMA booth wanting to be the hub of the community, and we truly have that place. You come up, people that you don't even know are just sitting down, taking a break, talking with each other. So it's that part has been absolutely amazing.
And I'm so proud of us for being very good about the 9-person limit up here. Like I thought for sure we were going to be breaking that.
We've gotten in trouble for everything else, but we've nailed that.
But we respected that.
Here, hold on. Here's why. Thank you very much. But here's why we haven't had a problem. People want to stay downstairs and talk and mingle. It's the same thing. I've done the same thing where like I need to rest for a second, and I'll come up here. I have to put something away, and then I'm immediately like, well, no, I'm going back. I'm going back where all the people are down there. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, we need a rope or something. Who's going to be in charge of manning the stairs? We haven't needed it at all.
Yep. Yeah, you realize we're one person away from breaking the rule right now, though.
Close.
So
It's
now
close.
that we was brought up, but people have been good. They count, and then who goes there? That is state law. That is why, you know. And all right, so a couple other shout outs we need to make. And of course, that goes to the events chair. Troy has brought this and rocked it all starting, 4 or 5 months ago with getting all the weekly meetings in together.
No,
and then
4 or 5 months ago, it was basically right after InfoComm was done last year. We did our debrief and post-mortem and took all the notes. And then we're like, all right,
and
what's next?
Brooke, our director of badge scan operations, that didn't get a name badge
herself.
next year. Will you give him a mic? Yes. This man needs to say something.
Always. What I was going to say was, so Troy, you're right, is stepping down as events chair now because he's been elected to the board. But think about what being events chair meant when he first picked up that chair position to now. There was no InfoComm. There was no ISE. There was no this. There was no that. What he has done and the people who participate in that events committee have really, like, think about what that job was just 18 months ago to today. It's he has taken us to a whole other level because he's fearless. Yeah. It's always, let's figure out how to make it. Let's figure out how to do it. Not all that sounds like a lot or whatever. It's like, yes, let's go. Oh
God. Cause we can't, every time we turn around, we keep coming up with a big idea. And then instead of being like, nah, let's not, it's like, well, all right, let's think about this. How can we make it go?
He built an entire events operation over the past 18 months. It's been remarkable to watch.
Yep. So we got a template for road shows. We got a template for a booth at a trade show.
Template for an education summit.
Yeah. It's kind of scary.
And he also made sure that every conversation wasn't completely about swag.
Even though we still have the best swag.
Without a doubt.
We're going to give away all the swag. It won't be in my garage for a year being passed around to all the road shows to get rid of. Yes, we're knocking that out. I'm going to try to think of other people who you think need shout outs. What last one I want to do is good old Sal.
Sal. He's the
Remember,
hero.
the first person who shut us down.
Speaking of which, there he is right there.
And where's that? Oh, there. Wow, look at that. It's like I manifested.
He's like,
from shutting us down to telling our neighbors to deal with it.
Sorry, friends that are around us.
Exactly. That at the happy hour yesterday, the bartenders who were here were having such a good time. I saw the two of them take a selfie in our booth, and they were just the staff. They were having such a good time that was here. So that's
the sign of a good time.
It is, but it's like that. Like we rolled in, we've had to do this, but we've been able to overcome the obstacles to create this thing. And the shout out to Avixa and their support and our partnership to be able to have this space and do all this. You know what I'm saying? It shows that they see value in us. It did just get brighter. Yeah. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Everybody out.
Well, and it's so funny along that line. I didn't realize the bartenders took selfies. That's great. And we had to up our bar order for today. And when I talked to the catering manager, I've met her just on the phone and all this stuff. And she's like, all I've been hearing is how much fun your booth is from her own staff. Right. Like, because I even asked, and you think that they're supposed to tell you your event's great, right? The bartenders know how is, your guys are great. You think that, no, even like the guy who's refilling the drinks is dancing every time he comes in.
Exactly.
And I'm like, so how's the other one? She's like, they're boring as like,
I know.
But you guys are going. And they're like, and the other one's like, the best part is you start an hour before everybody else.
Yeah.
So we've got the crowd rather than the competition.
It's a vibe.
Yeah,
it's a vibe.
It is definitely a vibe. DJ Carvon, shout out. Lyle.
He's the linchpin of the entertainment options. I mean, that's one thing I think I've heard play second or third most. It's like, y'all have a live DJ. How much are y'all paying him? No, he's one of our members. He comes up for it. So
Yeah.
It's the same with everything, right?
Yeah.
Like we have a professional looking booth in operation, and it was all done by volunteer hands. When we were setting up, a guy from a company I can't remember came by, and he pulled me aside, and he's just like, "Who are you people?" Right? Like, what's going on? I was like, "Oh, this is HETMA." You know what I'm saying? We're doing. He's just like, that you guys are such a team over there. And because all the other booths being built around are people paid to build booths. Yeah. And all of the other happy hours and parties are people who are there having a work party. And we're not having a work party. The vibe is different because people genuinely choose to be here, not because they're supposed to do it.
I know we all always say, we have to do everything in higher ed. We do it all. That is true. We've got, like I was saying, we've got DJ Carbone down there rocking it. Ann and her husband building the booth. Troy taking care of all the logistics. Chris coming up with his education team and entire summit. Yeah. We truly have people that do
Joe Way
everything.
the Higher AV Awards.
Joe Way emceeing and Tim doing the critical emceeing job. I think I've heard y'all are the short list for the Oscars next year too. At this point,
so
if not, you definitely should be. And the jackets have to come back for those as well. So
the jackets were hideous.
It was the short list for the Oscars, but it was the Oscar the Grouch, not the actual Oscars.
All right, Erin, any shout outs? Last shout outs as we try to land this plane.
Oh gosh, like I know my fear is that I'm forgetting people, because there are so many people who have contributed and have done such an amazing job, just embodying the spirit of HETMA and making this go.
How many times we saw the HETMA approved logo around this? It makes an appearance in the Avixa magazines. People are tweeting it out.
They're advertising with it. I mean, that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like we have to shout out Dustin and the HETMA approvers, because every manufacturer going into InfoComm is like, we need to do an approval, and it's like,
and especially
so get your products early.
Yeah, especially Donovan for laying the groundwork for everything on the approved program.
I mean, poor Donovan hasn't gotten to experience this side of it and get to see the fruits of the labor almost of what goes on with all of the manufacturers coming up to us and stuff.
Yeah, Bose Professionals booth right there, walkthrough was basically a tour of HETMA approved programs, and that thing is is printed. It's part of their booth. It's not a sticker or it's a cornerstone of what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? So the approved for sure. The other thing is we have to think Annie and who's our treasurer? Atkins. That's how bad.
We've been spending a lot of money. You don't forget who the treasurer is.
But that's the point, is this is that stuff. But the work that you and he have had to do before and go after, the business operation that has to make this run, there's a ton of work. You know what I'm saying? And while Atkins may not be walking around here in his cape all day, it doesn't happen without his dedication to doing all those things. And then all the other members of our team that signed up and said, I will spend my time here. I want to do this. I want to man the booth. I want to be part of it.
And members of the team, we had the Prism breakfast. Let's just add more.
Yes, exactly.
How about how many of the Prism people are working this booth?
Yes.
Hour after hour.
It was always so great watching them post after they passed their CTS exam with the CTS logo popped up there. Yeah. That part is what it's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, shout out to Natalie Gillespie, who's heading up the Prism cohort this year. I mean, making sure that they had all the information that they needed to make their trips to InfoComm. We had some come from Egypt to be here with us, and also he passed the CTS exam, so one of our success stories.
Woo.
Yep. So it's look out, we're global.
We are global. I guess my last, we want your shout outs too, but I do want to give thanks to Panasonic Connect X2O Media, and LG for
Yes.
sponsoring our happy hours.
For sure.
So that's huge, them coming in for that.
Thank
And
you
then we
for
have
partaking in
Nureva and
Yep.
Wirestorm. And I just blanked on the other. I will look it up on my phone. Our sponsors of the Education Summit as well. So you'll get it.
Screen beam.
Screen beam.
Got
I
you.
knew that.
There we
I
go.
knew
There
it.
we
Ace
go.
right
Got
there.
you.
We are not the
Too
ones
many.
who procured those sponsors, so
They were
those
not a
ones
big-
aren't as on the top of the mind.
So
No,
Yeah.
but if I one last shout out would be
your shout out.
to the godfathers or the godfathers of the org
Yes.
and the thing, the two of you, to like you said, it's was an idea and now it is a thing. It is so much a thing, and it is always like, and we've had this conversation, so I don't need to belabor the point. We've done it on the show before, but it's the why you did it still pervades everything that we're here, and it is about reaching and finding other people, and it becomes our job as the next round of leaders come in to prepare the next round and the next round and open the doors for other people to be seen and recognized and do all that. It's a bad thing for my ego, but I had somebody I did not know come up with a sticker for my podcast and ask me to sign it. So the pool of the narcissism whirlpool that's going to set in, you all have to be careful. But like, I'm from a small community college in northern Arizona. Why in the hell would anybody ever care or know who I am?
I don't.
I know, but it's because people here do that, and the fun. So because you two set it up that way, everybody does that, and so thank you. Shout out to you guys, and thank you for building this thing that has become so important to so
Building
many
this
people.
thing that became 2 stories.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
Literally
building
building a thing.
But look, but the metaphor of saying, okay, this is I'm stepping down and I'm doing the thing. Oh, got it. So as you step down, we continue to move up. 2 stories, then 3 stories, then 4 stories. Because
do
the
you want the
foundation
engineering
is strong.
plans off that?
Yeah,
You
no,
wanna
I
see
know
how
it.
many
Yeah,
You enjoy that.
yeah, exactly.
No.
So I guess with that, we're going to go ahead and close out this best of InfoComm. My thing is, it's not even over yet. We still got to tear a booth down. We have our members dinner tonight, and then road trip into Grand Canyon. Why not? I think we're going to get it done. What's the over/under on whether or not we get this actually torn down in 3 hours? Yesterday, I was going to take the over. Today, I'm taking the under.
Taking the under.
Taking the under.
Ann and Carl were already starting to lay out the escape plan. So I'm thinking we're gonna get this done.
That they've got it sketched out. They've got it planned. I think we've got the back end logistics locked in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hammer it, but I'm gonna take the over.
You have no faith.
Oh wait, sorry, under. That half a brain cell that I have left right now just got confused.
All I'm going to say to this is how I'm going to help the under happen. We're catering in barbecue
Done.
for the Cowboy Suite. So
Done.
there's no barbecue until the booth is on pallets.
No, what was it last year? We thought it was going to take like 3 or 4 hours to tear down the booth, and we had it down in 45 minutes. So I think this year I think we're going to take the under.
I even bought tools. We're even prepared.
Yes,
Carl
we're
told us
even
which
good.
Tools to get and everything.
I love the metaphor. We showed up to build this booth and we had 1 wrench.
I bought what was on the pick list.
Exactly. We're like,
There was no quantities.
we figured it out, but to take it down, we have 3 wrenches. Imagine how many wrenches we'll have next year.
All right, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We enjoyed this incredible show. Very last that people to thank is, of course, Avixa. None of this would happen without our partnership together. And we hope that we're bringing you all as much value as you bring us. So with that, we are signing off of InfoComm 2024. Peace out.